For millions of fans of gospel music worldwide, Reggie Smith is a known face and voice. He has spent decades inspiring people with songs based on faith, hope, and encouragement. He is well known for his strong voice, endearing harmonies, and steadfast presence on the Gaither Homecoming stage. However, Reggie's life has also been entwined with personal struggles, emotional strains, health setbacks, and the subtle difficulties that come with juggling ministry, personal identity, and family life behind the polished performances, kind smile, and steady vocals. His story is an example of tenacity, grace, and the quiet fortitude needed to carry out God's job in the public eye. Faith, early life, and the call to music. Born in Comanche, Texas, Reggie Smith grew up in a Christian home that placed a high importance on integrity, faith, and serving God. From an early age, music was a natural part of his life. He initially fell in love with harmonies and the ministry of worship while singing at church and community events as a child. Reggie's gift was more than just skill. It carried anointing, sincerity, and a certain genuineness that affected hearts. His voice matured early, and others around him quickly saw this. Throughout his time in college, music evolved from a passion to a calling. Reggie studied music education and vocal training, preparing himself not just as a singer but also as a musician, voice coach, and arranger. Gospel circles started to open doors for him, and his participation in Christian music ministries eventually brought him into contact with some of the most well-known figures in Southern gospel. However, his life, career, and ministry were all altered by his encounter with the Gaither Homecoming family. Joining the Gaither Homecoming family, a music-based ministry. Joining the Gaither Vocal Band, or the Gaither Homecoming Tours, is seen by many Christian musicians as a significant accomplishment that confirms their calling to ministry. Reggie saw it as a dream entwined with obligation. There was pressure and enthusiasm to perform with a roster of famous gospel vocalists, including Bill Gaither. Expectations were high, the touring schedule was rigorous, and it was emotionally taxing to be a source of hope for thousands of people every night. Reggie was now more than simply a singer. He was a minister, a counselor through song lyrics, and a healer. Fans witnessed the lights, the music, the cheers, and the packed auditoriums. They were unable to witness the weariness, the spiritual obligation, or the silent tears that come after giving your all on stage. Reggie, however, accepted it. His voice came to represent serenity and comfort. His harmonies, which are frequently referred to as heaven-threaded, served as the warm, soulful glue that held arrangements together. He developed into a friend to struggling Christians, a mentor to aspiring artists, and a consoling figure to everyone he came into contact with. But even as he encouraged others, Reggie occasionally struggled with the unspoken pressure to continue singing, laughing, and inspiring, especially on days when his own heart was weary. Health issues and the cost of ministry. Even the toughest performers might become exhausted from the physical demands of life on the road. Over time, Reggie's health started to suffer as a result of his frequent travels, erratic sleep patterns, lengthy rehearsals, and the emotional demands of ministry. Those close to him could see the weariness, the strain in his voice after consecutive tours, and the emotional exhaustion that quietly set in, even though he rarely discussed his physical difficulties in public. During several seasons, Reggie persevered in attending ministry events, recordings, and concerts, despite his body's signals that he needed to rest. The general public frequently believes that gospel singers lead simple, fortunate lives. In actuality, however, ministry necessitates giving even when the vessel seems empty. Reggie occasionally neglected his own well-being due to the pressure to continue being strong for others. He found it difficult to strike a balance between taking care of himself and serving God's people, much like many other preachers. This internal conflict became more intense throughout the pandemic years. During touring, forced pauses showed how exhausted his heart and body had grown. However, Reggie gradually regained his strength with rest, faith, and family support. He learned from the experience that even those who provide healing to others require time to heal themselves. Family, marriage, and the burden of expectations. Along the way, Reggie wed Ladye Love Smith, a fellow singer and ministry partner. She is a gifted vocalist who is well known for both her musical prowess and her kindness. Their relationship, which was based on harmony, faith, and a common goal, made them one of the most admired couples in gospel music. From the outside, their relationship seemed ideal. Two talented Christians traveling the world, singing for the Lord, and working together as a team. However, their narrative also contained difficult times, as is the case with all marriages, particularly those in the public glare. It was difficult to juggle marriage and constant ministry travel. Reggie and Ladye occasionally found it difficult to be emotionally present for one another due to their frequent travels between cities, their need to stay in different hotel rooms every night, and their obligation to be emotionally present for others. There were times when communication became challenging, not because of a lack of love, but rather because of emotional exhaustion and the obligation to maintain a public Christian smile, even on days when their hearts were heavy. Ministry couples frequently deal with a special dilemma. They give their everything to others and occasionally wind up giving each other what's left. This was a truth that Reggie and Ladye had to face. There were times when miscommunications worsened, unfulfilled emotional demands persisted, and they wondered how to keep their marriage solid while continuously helping others. However, the pivotal moment occurred when they realized a reality that many people avoid. Marriage needs deliberate care. They started fortifying the basis of their union via open communication, prayer, counseling, and a fresh resolve to safeguard their partnership. They learned to prioritize time as husband and wife, not simply as ministry partners, to say no to some obligations, and to make time for relaxation. Their experience serves as a reminder that intentional love, grace, and compromise are necessary for even deeply religious couples to maintain their marriage. The quiet conflicts behind the grin. The unspoken pressure to be the strong one has been one of Reggie Smith's biggest obstacles. He was frequently sought after for spiritual uplift, support, prayer, and encouragement. Few, however, stop to think that the person who is encouraging others also needs encouragement. After concerts, Reggie would sometimes feel emotionally spent and wonder if he was actually making a difference, or if the pressure of expectations was eventually eating away at him. He struggled with feelings of fear, self-doubt, and pressure to uphold a perfect Christian image. However, it was at these intimate times that he realized the depth of his relationship with God. He sensed the Lord's presence more strongly when he was alone, not when there was cheering. Not only did Reggie learn to give up his ministry, but he also learned to let go of his worries, exhaustion, and secret tears. Resilience via faith and purpose revival. Reggie was not broken by the stressful times, health issues, and marital difficulties. Rather, they sharpened him. He came out with a more profound comprehension of grace, a revitalized sense of purpose, and a more compassionate heart for those who were struggling in silence. Today, Reggie's ministry is more compassionate than ever. His chats, songs, and testimonials all demonstrate not only skill, but also life experience. He has the voice of someone who has persevered through hardships, relied on grace, and discovered God both on stage and in life's silent valleys. Reggie continues to inspire audiences worldwide alongside Ladye. Today, their music reflects a maturity molded by adversity, a more intimate comprehension of God's constancy, a greater emotional weight, and a deeper sensitivity. Takeaways from Reggie Smith's experience. The life of Reggie Smith teaches important lessons. Faith gives us the strength to overcome obstacles rather than protecting us from them. Balance is necessary for ministry work. Their physical, mental, and emotional well-being must be safeguarded, even by those who help others. In the ministry, marriage is not easy. It takes time, humility, grace, and deliberate love. There are silent battles. Support, relaxation, and human moments are necessary for even the most ardent supporters. Rather, being in the spotlight, purpose frequently develops in the shadows. A heartfelt and harmonious legacy. Reggie is still regarded as one of the most talented and genuine voices in gospel music today. His experience demonstrates how God communicates his message through actual, flawed people. Because he has led a faithful life rather than a perfect one, he continues to inspire audiences. Reggie Smith's tale is characterized by resiliency rather than hardship. His existence serves as a reminder that, day by day, a human heart is learning, developing, and depending on grace behind every anointed voice.